What's up guys, this is Merc Music and welcome to Hiding Spots and Glitches on Shipment in Modern Warfare 2. This video is essentially going to be a full-blown map tutorial for the map Shipment. It's going to cover a lot of different things, obviously hiding spots and glitches, as well as cross-map throwing knife spots. I'm also going to be covering Easter eggs as well as things that are unique to this version of Shipment. And even though Shipment is the smallest map in the game, there's still a lot that you probably don't know yet. But that's okay because I've spent disgusting amounts of time going through every little detail of this map so you guys don't have to. So with that being said, let's kick things off here with the cross-map throwing knife spots in Domination on Shipment. Now, unfortunately, Modern Warfare 2 does continue this trend of not being able to get straight up cross-map throwing knife kills, which is not great, but there is a workaround for this. And what's pretty unique about trying to get a cross-map throwing knife on Domination on Shipment is that you can stand in any one of the four corners and you can look straight up in the air and then just slightly lower your aim a little bit, throw your throwing knife, and you can kill someone that's directly on the center of the flag. Now, as a fair warning, this is not going to be easy to pull off. People put riot shields on their backs when they're laying down capturing flags, and the gameplay you're seeing right now is me trying to kill someone that's directly on the center of the flag, but most people will not sit on the center. So here's my advice if you're trying to change the trajectory of your cross-map throwing knife. If you aim your throwing knife crosshair higher up, the throwing knife is actually not going to go as far. But the more you lower your throwing knife crosshair, the further it's actually going to travel. So when you're playing Domination on Shipment, if you know an enemy is capturing from a certain spot, you might be able to adjust this throwing knife spot in order to hit someone who might be in a slightly different position. I've actually been trying really hard to hit this cross-map spot in public matches, but I haven't had any luck yet, so hopefully you guys will. And since I'm kind of breaking the tradition and starting with cross-map throwing knife spots, let's move on to cross-map noob tube spots. Again, unfortunately, like a lot of the recent Call of Duty games, you cannot get straight up cross-map noob tube kills. And if you try to do this on Shipments, the grenade launcher shot is going to airburst before it can actually hit the ground and kill someone. But if you still want to try to use the grenade launcher from range, you can try to bounce it off of the crates to kill someone who's maybe taking B flag. We also did some tests with the riot shield on Shipments, trying to get some ricochet shots off of the shield to try to kill enemies, and it didn't work. In previous Call of Duty games like the original Modern Warfare 2, you could actually ricochet bullets off of the riot shield and damage and or kill enemies. But unfortunately, in the new Modern Warfare 2, you cannot do that. It almost kind of seems like the bullets are absorbed by the riot shield instead of ricocheting off of them. So yeah, we didn't have any luck with that one. Now, one thing you'll notice right off the bat that's very different about Modern Warfare 2's version of Shipment compared to Modern Warfare 2019 is that you cannot get on top of the crates. Or can you? We actually did a lot of different tests and tried a lot of different things to see if you can still get on top of the crates and actually get on top of the map. But before we dive into some of that insane footage, I do want to make you guys aware of some of the jump up spots that do exist on the map. Even though this version of Shipment is more true to Call of Duty 4's version of Shipment, which is kind of limited, there's still certain spots that you can get on top of. There's a couple of different crates on the map that actually have some spots that you can jump on top of that will allow you to get on top of the doors. You can use this to hide or camp and try to get a couple of kills, but it's probably not going to keep you alive for that long. And if you're watching this and you weren't aware of that, well, now you should know that people can actually camp up there. There are a couple of other spots that you can jump on top of as well, and there are different surfaces and objects that you can still climb on top of. You just can't use that to get on top of the crates, which obviously limits the verticality of this version of the map. But you'll definitely want to look out for this spot, because if someone decides to camp here, it could be a very strong and annoying spot. Conveniently located by the dumpsters at C Flag, there is actually a corner spot that you can jump on top of, and if you feel daring, you can put a deployable cover down and really piss some people off. Now, this is by no means some kind of incredible spot that will get you a ton of kills, unless of course the enemies are just terrible, but you guys should definitely be aware that this spot does exist because you can get cheesed pretty easily. And at the time of recording this video, this spot is not fixed, so Infinity Ward might have actually intended for you to go up there and camp if you want to. So just keep that in mind. But still, as far as it goes for trying to get on top of the crates and getting on top of the map, there's some other things that you're going to have to try to do. When I was goofing around on this map with Karina and Solbo, we tried to call in as many loadout airdrops as possible and try to stack those up so we could climb on top of the map. We put the field charge rate modifier as high as we possibly could, so that way we could call in as many of these things as we could. And after calling in hundreds upon thousands upon millions of care packages, these are the results.
Oh my
god!
I died! Still not enough somehow.
It's really Christmas.
I see it! I see it! No!
Please.
Decent. Oh my god, no! Wait. Beautiful. No! Come on! We want to get up! No! Oh my lord! No!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! No! Why did that kill me?
It killed you? Is it still
It
there?
killed me! I
just
just go. Yeah, it's still there.
Oh my god!
Go!
Oh my god! No! We're so close to Christmas! It's on top! Go!
I am here. I'm here. No,
Go! I want the Christmas.
Santa, no, please!
Yeah, you still can't get on top of the map. It seems like Infinity Ward did a pretty good job with the barriers and keeping us from trying to get to the very top of the map. But I don't want to completely rule out the possibility that you can potentially get on top of the map. It was just the 3 of us trying this. I mean, maybe if you get more people and more care packages, or if you try it in a different section of the map, maybe you actually can get on top of Shipment. And one thing to keep in mind is that some of these spots you can consistently reach without having to call in a ton of loadout airdrops. Like this one location of the map near A Flag and Domination. You can consistently put deployable covers down in this spot, call in a loadout airdrop, and then use that to climb on top and get on top of this ledge on the shipping crate. So even though for the time being you can't consistently get on top of Shipment, you can get pretty close. And if you're actually able to pull this off in public matches and get into some of these spots, you'll definitely catch people off guard. But next up is actually an Easter egg that I covered in a TikTok and YouTube short. If you're playing the holiday version of Shipment, there is actually a special Easter egg on the map. While you are able to see this Easter egg happening from the actual portion of the map, I would recommend going into free spectating mode in private match and flying out to the first oil rig on the outside of the map. All you need to do to see the Easter egg is just fly exactly where I'm going in the video. You might need to be a little patient because it can take some time for this Easter egg to happen. It took me roughly 5 minutes for this to actually start. And overall, it seems like the game has to be roughly halfway over before the Easter egg kicks in. But eventually you're going to see Santa flying in with his reindeer. But there is something pretty peculiar about this Easter egg. You'll notice that Riley from Call of Duty Ghosts is actually the very first reindeer in the front. And instead of seeing Santa, you're going to see a teddy bear Easter egg, which we've had for so long as an Easter egg in Call of Duty games. This Easter egg is essentially a simplified version of the Easter egg that we got on Winter Docks from Modern Warfare 2019. You don't have to really do anything to trigger this Easter egg. It will just happen at least once per match. And after a short break, Riley the reindeer and the teddy bear will fly off into the distance, leaving a trail of booty crumbs. Warning, do not leave your mouth open. But as far as I'm aware, that's the only Easter egg that we have for Shipment, but it is very interesting flying on the outside of the map. It really does kind of open up your perspective and make you realize that this version of Shipment is actually very different than the previous versions. Basically, every other version of Shipment in previous Call of Duty games is just a bunch of random shipping crates on the ground. But when you're in free spectator mode on Modern Warfare 2, you'll notice that this is the first time that Shipment is actually taking place on a boat. And there's actually a lot you can explore on the outside of the map. You can go into the ocean and you can see the water effects. And there's 2 different oil rigs that you can explore out in the distance.
Wait, there's just a random crate floating out here. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. What?
Now that's a supply drop.
And one thing I'm sure you guys have noticed, even if you haven't explored the outside of the map, is that the lighting from these outside sources have a pretty big impact on the lighting on the map. Because as I'm sure we all know, this version of Shipment is actually pretty dark by default. So I do have a couple of recommendations for increasing your visibility. You can either increase your in-game brightness setting in order to see people more easily, or if you want to, you can run a flashlight attachment on your guns. To be perfectly honest, it's probably better to just turn up your brightness versus having to give up an attachment slot for a flashlight, but you can always do that if you want. One thing I also found really interesting is that if an enemy decides to put down a deployable cover and set up some defenses in the middle shipping container, they actually cannot get out at all. I'm not sure if this was intentional on Infinity Ward's part because they love Sentinel gameplay, but just keep that in mind. If someone's camping in there and they put down a deployable cover, they can't escape. And speaking of annoying campers in the shipping containers, let's talk about bullet penetration on the map. Are you able to shoot enemies through this heavy cover on Shipment? To do this test, I made 2 overkill assault rifle classes, the first gun having the strongest base damage for the assault rifle category and the second gun having the weakest damage. And as you can see right here, even if you're not running armor piercing rounds, which increase your bullet penetration, you can still shoot enemies through the shipping containers. And overall in Modern Warfare 2, if you're firing a higher caliber round that has better bullet penetration values, you really shouldn't have too much difficulty with shooting people through this heavy cover. But if you are struggling to deal with campers who are hiding behind cover, you can always put on armor piercing rounds to increase your bullet penetration. And there's a pretty good chance it will reduce the amount of shots that you need to kill people through cover. But obviously, since Shipment is a pretty small and basic map, there's really not a lot of other things you need to know about the map except for maybe these different crevices that you can hide in. On this version of the map, there's basically 2 deep crevices that you can actually hide in pretty well. I would not recommend camping in here for an extended period of time, but if you need to quickly take cover or get a reload off, this is a pretty safe place to go. But in fairness, I do want to kind of expose this spot as well because I have seen people camp here for extended periods of time trying to get kill streaks. So if you suspect that an enemy is camping here, you can try to blow them up or throw a drill charge through the other side of the wall. Those are pretty much the 2 big crevices, but there's technically also some smaller ones in these locations of the map as well. Right now, the current meta in Modern Warfare 2 for most players is to put a riot shield on their back and run overkill so they can still have a primary weapon. So you might not actually see too many people just kind of sitting back and trying to camp for kills. I mean, sometimes you will, but since it seems like most of the player base is just turtling, I would highly recommend running some kind of explosive or a Simtex that you can stick to them so you can still take them down. And man, some of these players have no shame, so they might have bomb squad on as well. So if they have that combo with the turtling, good luck. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my map tutorial for Shipment in Modern Warfare 2. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see some more hiding spots and glitch videos on Modern Warfare 2, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later.
I just... Bro, I just spawned! Are you kidding me? There wasn't even a human driving that.